Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. Today our very special guest is Mr. Jim Edwards, Executive Director of the Republican Renaissance PAC. Website for that, Mr. Edwards, rrrpac.
irrpac.com.
irrpac.com.
If you do a search for Illinois Republican Renaissance, you know, that's what people can remember, and then it'll bring up the PAC.
Renaissance. I don't know if a lot of public school children would know how to spell the word Renaissance.
That's true. Got a point there. Jack went to a Catholic school. He knows how to spell it.
I don't. You know, we were talking about Southern Illinois, and I want to talk a little bit about Illinois over the past 40 years. I remember, I've been in Illinois my whole life. Illinois has always been a really nice red. This is the heart of the nation. We're the heartland here. What happened? What happened? I mean, the heartland that promotes values, that promotes fiscal conservatism, love of God, love of country. What happened here?
At the break, you were mentioning you thought that people in Southern Illinois, including Democrats, were conservative. And to a large degree, they are.
Time was.
But here is the problem with that. Their very first, these guys that get elected, their very first vote is for their leaders. And their leaders in the House is Michael Madigan, who's been the architect of everything that's gone wrong. In the Senate, it's John Cullerton. And then if you look at Governor Quinn, I'm going to tell you something that they all have in common. All the leaders, Quinn, Madigan, Lisa Madigan, Cullerton. Last regime was Blagojevich, Hines, Janulius, and goes on and on and on. They all have three things in common.
What is that?
They're all Democrats, obviously.
Okay.
They are all attorneys, ironically, and they are all from Chicago. So it doesn't matter what the Southern Illinois conservatives think. Their leadership, the ones that make everything happen, are from Chicago, the most corrupt city possibly in the history of the world.
So let me ask you something. We've got this
all
state...
the way back to the worst of the Romans. Yeah, it's a reputation we have everywhere. Most crooked, most busted. You know, what are we going to do? Just look at the way this thing's being run. You got the pensions for the K-12 school system are just completely out of control. It's $160 billion. 160 billions. I didn't make a mistake.
That's just for a state.
And that is just for the not for the anything but the school system pensions are that far into the hole. There's no way to pay anything.
To tax our way out of that. It's impossible.
No, I can't do it. The whole thing has to be changed. So what have you got? You got Madigan down there. He says, "Oh, we're going to shift the payment of the pensions. We'll shift it back to the school districts where it belongs."
To the local level, to
the local level. Listen, how insane is that to anybody that knows anything about what's going on? What brass that Madigan and these guys, the Democrats, have to think that they're going to shove that $160 billion obligation back through the keyhole that it came through? That elephant will never pass through. In '96, it got too big to pay locally, and that's why they sent it down to Madigan and Springfield, where he and the Democrats just completely exploded the whole system. You got superintendents making $200,000 and $300,000 salaries and pensions.
Right.
They are down there by the thousands. And this thing has just run crazy under Madigan's influence down there. So there's no way you can push that back to the school districts that are so inefficient that they're running out of money. They're the biggest badly run organizations you can imagine, all these school districts. And we can show you in detail if you want to hear about the disgusting story.
Illinois Pension Scam Book, everything you want to know about pensions, and we're afraid to ask but need to know.
There's no way that anybody could possibly take this pension thing and squirt it back to the local thing unless they had it as their plan to bankrupt every one of the 860 school districts in the state.
Why would they want to do that?
Yeah, well, they probably deserve it, but it's never going to happen. Nobody's going to do that. And just forget it. This whole talk about pushing the debt back, everybody's real estate bill would just go to the moon. go ahead and double and triple it. That's what had happened.
That's right.
And so why would Madigan suggest this foolish thing, and the stupid governor talk about it, that the pension shift would not bankrupt school districts or cause property tax increase? What is that guy smoking?
Oh, he means the first 6 months. They could probably make it for 6 months.
You know what? I want to ask a question here, because all these folks live here. Madigan lives here. All these they all live in this state. So why would they want to go ahead and create something where people are leaving, taxes go up? Aren't their taxes going up too? What is the end game with this?
Power. Power is a big part of it, but here's another part that they don't have. They're stuck. The Democrats are stuck in the middle of this because they know it's a disaster waiting to happen, but they also, because their need for power,
they're all a lot of money,
and they need in order to keep their power, they have to keep the unions.
Power over what? A bankrupt state?
Well, you know what? I think a lot of them think that they're hoping that they can this will last till they get out of office, so they don't have to deal with it, to the reality of it. But it's going down the tube so fast.
Those guys are so bloody incompetent to run anything. The one that isn't incompetent is Madigan, and he's doing everything wrong to keep this rotten crew in power. But these people have got more money and power from being elected downstate than any job they could ever hold in a competitive world. So they aren't even thinking of anything except their own hides to hold on to a political job, and they're going to go into the next year to kick the can down the road while Illinois goes to hell with no money to do anything.